That's right, Liz. It was really, really sad to see. Now, this is a photo of that missing woman, Kamisha Hollis. And today I spoke with her mother, and she said that she just wants to have her daughter back. Her grandkids need their mom, but they will not give up looking for her. That's right, Gia. The Imaginarium has been an Old Market staple for years, but their old ways could soon be changing because of a new city ordinance. Now, that ordinance was delayed today in City Council, but the owner of the Imaginarium here says he doesn't think it's a good idea. Gia, they just want the mayor to listen to them and make a change. Now, the intersection here at Saddle Creek and Cumming Street is hectic and chaotic, to say the very least, but there are multiple streets here, as you can see, multiple streets here that go in several different directions. Jerking like this. Braking hard like this makes the car work harder to stop, which wastes gas. If you're coming from Omaha, take I-80 down to 180 all the way to Memorial Stadium. Ticks can find you anywhere you go. They can find you here. They can find you here too. And yes, even right here. Monty, I spoke with the University of Nebraska Medical Center, and they say that there was no negligence here. It was simply a mistake. But PETA says that mistakes like these cannot happen. The saying goes, dog is a man's best friend, but to some, cats are their best friend. And these cats are getting this special treatment. That's right, guys. This game was an absolute blast to watch. Both teams went neck and neck until the very last second and even went into overtime. This is called a safety harness. Now, it looks complex, but it goes on just like this, like a backpack, clips in the middle like this. Obviously, the pros can do it a lot faster than I can. And there's parts on the bottom that go up between your legs to keep you safe. Now, the whole point of this is if you fall, it will potentially save you from a life-threatening injury or death. If you are driving along and see a down power line, stay in your car. But if you can't stay in your car, here's what you do. Hop out of the car as far as you can with both feet together. Once you've hit the ground, hop with both feet together, still 35 feet away. If you can't hop, shuffle with your feet together as far away as you can. And now remember, the rubber on the bottom of your shoes doesn't help you in these kind of cases. Monty, I'm standing near the area where the standoff took place this morning. It happened about 7:30 this morning and it lasted around 4 hours, but thankfully it ended peacefully and no one was injured.
We did it, Duke!
Kansas fans and Duke fans went head to head and the Jayhawks came out on top. And fans young and young at heart are thrilled for their team. KU! Go KU! You're obviously a Kansas fan. Let's see this. How excited are you?
Really excited.
Rock, chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Woo. What a game! What a game, both teams. Phenomenal game. This will be a classic. This will be talked about years down the road. The best part is that it was against Duke.
But Duke fans weren't so enthusiastic. Duke fans, anybody want to talk to me? No? Okay. Some just wanted a good game, and they got it.
I was going for a great game.
Great game. Did you get it?
We got it.
And this game means more than Kansas fans can even explain.
Really special. You know, we thought last year's team was going to be the team to do it. They played in Kansas City in the Elite Eight. Thought the matchup was better. And when you're playing Duke, one of the greatest teams, one of the greatest coaches, programs of all time, it's really just a break here and there. And this team just had such a big heart, and it showed out there again.
I felt scared crossing because it's very narrow and there's not a lot of concrete between my body and the traffic.
Curtis Bryant lives near the intersection of Saddle Creek and Cumming Street. He also bikes most places, but he says he tries to avoid the intersection because it's so dangerous.
These streets are very busy and they're not designed for cycling. And I found today, you know, it wasn't very comfortable for walking either.
A group of people went to that intersection on Wednesday. That included representatives of a company called Mode Shift.
Part of Mode Shift, we look at different intersections that are kind of dangerous. We look at different ways that we can make them safer. A whole part of our organization is just trying to make our city more walkable, more bikeable, more friendly, just for people to get around in general.
Most of the group biked to the meeting place and all said they had a very hard time getting there, and most even live close by. Bryant says he hopes the mayor will listen to their concerns and make a change.
What I'd like the city to do is study this intersection some more. We're looking at it today and we'll offer some suggestions. My initial thoughts are, let's paint some more crosswalks.
Searching, trying to find my daughter. It's been about 35 days without even hearing her voice. Don't know where she's at. It's a bad feeling.
Over a month ago, Kamisha Hollis vanished from her home. It's out of the ordinary for the mother of three. Family and friends have urged the city of Omaha to be on the lookout for her and have asked for help in searching. But still, nothing.
It's like a nightmare to me. I never thought I would be in this situation.
Dozens of people from the community came out today to search for Hollis.
She's a mother that worked hard. We want to find her. This is what this is about. We want to bring her home.
But shortly after announcing the search, it was called off.
There's really no reason for us to search today at this point. We have to let them do their job on the river. Unfortunately, we're pushing the efforts towards the river.
Witnesses say they saw some suspicious activity along the Missouri River near Plattsmouth recently, enough that some wonder if it could be related to Hollis's disappearance. But her family and friends are not ready to give up hope.
I am not going to stop until I bring those babies their mama home.
Hollis's family says that while it's calling off the search for now, it may head out again at a later time.
Ms. Hollis and the girls are going to need our help. We want everybody to go home and pray we could save them before we leave. But we want everyone here to be there for this family.
We're still fact-finding. We're still under investigation as to exactly what happened and how it happened.
But whatever did happen left 5 research monkeys dead, which got the attention of PETA.
What happened was just outrageous. This was extreme neglect.
But UNMC says there was no neglect at all, but simply an error by the manufacturer.
There was a mix-up with the drug identification. It had nothing to do with animal well-being or welfare. In fact, the mix-up didn't impact animal well-being at all.
According to both institutions, 10 monkeys were injected with a drug cocktail. That cocktail, a mix for HIV. But one of those 3 drugs was not the right one.
Then they were injected with the wrong drug, and consequently, any data that's going to come from these experiments is entirely useless.
PETA has since filed 2 complaints with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the National Institutes of Health. UNMC says their investigation into what happened should be wrapped up soon. Then they will have a better idea of how it happened and how to prevent it in the future.
There's a final phase that we're entering into now. You never know when it's going to end because we look at every detail and we chase down the facts, and however long it takes us to do that, we'll do it.
It sounds good. It's a good buzzword. Ooh, it's going to help cut down on people stealing, things like that. Maybe not necessarily.
James Cavan, owner of the Imaginarium, has been in the Old Market for 8 years. He says if a proposed ordinance passes, it will completely change his business.
We won't be able to buy from the public anymore, which we do quite a bit of.
This city ordinance being proposed would change the way secondhand stores buy from the public. The ordinance would require goods sold to the stores to be documented and those selling a lengthier background check. Cavan says how they do things now is just fine, and in 8 years of business, they have only had 1 stolen item attempted to be sold.
When somebody walks in, we try to get a fingerprint. We get as much information as possible, phone number, address. If they have a driver's license, we get that. Some people have it, some don't. That's always a red flag, so we try to use common sense.
But another store just down the road was hit by a similar ordinance last year. The Metro Pawn Shop has been in business for more than 15 years. Owner David Drake says it's been good for his business.
I think it's a good proposal in the fact that everybody should be doing the same thing.
Drake says by evening the playing field, selling stolen goods will be harder for criminals.
It's not going to be a loophole for the criminals to go to the second-hand dealer and sell the stolen property instead of the pawn shops.
Baby Osama loves to play. It's a common sight in this home, but he is a rare one. He was born with a disease that only hits 500 people worldwide. It's called Niemann-Pick type C, also known as children's Alzheimer's. But the chances for Osama to contract the fatal disease were doubled. Both his parents are carriers of the deadly trait, something they didn't know until Osama was born.
I'm a carrier and his dad's a carrier. Even with us being a carrier, your child has a 25% chance of getting that. And in our case, you okay? He just happened to be the 25% chance.
Osama's struggle started right from the beginning, with complications inside the womb. He was born 7 weeks early, spent nearly 2 months in the NICU, and after countless tests, the family found out their son would now be fighting a battle for his life, one that he could lose.
Or your smiley face.
Niemann-Pick type C is a rare and fatal disease with no known cure. But Osama is now on an experimental drug trial.
What's happening with it currently, as it's in trial, is that it's slowing the progression down. And the hope is it slows it down enough until some cure could be found.
Most families don't find out their child is suffering from NPC until around kindergarten.
He started to regress. He was able to stand up if he was holding on to a surface, and then he stopped standing.
Eventually, Osama will lose motor function in his body and even lose the ability to swallow and breathe. Although the cards the Hamad family were dealt are bleak, Deanna says she is thankful to have her son.
He's the best thing that's happened to us. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And no matter what, they always do what is best for Osama.
We just do the best we can. Day-to-day life, we really try to keep things as normal as we can for him. You know, we don't want him to feel like he's different.
Oh, here we go. Most people think you need to have, a noose or something to hold them in place, but really, they do very well just sitting there on their own.
Ginny has been grooming cats and dogs for years, but decided cats were her forte. So she opened up the first cat-only grooming salon and cat hotel in Omaha.
I just try and kind of hold them with one hand. I think just putting my hand on them is, kind of helps them relax.
And she knows all the tips and tricks.
I do try and move around. I can keep them moving so that way they're not in the same position for too long.
Ginny has seen all shapes and sizes and cuts, but her favorite is a classic.
My favorite would be the lion cut.
And after the cut is the wash.
Oh, I try and be fast. Try and be quick, huh? Kitty burrito.
Once a cat has been groomed and bathed, they get to dry.